Most people believe freedom means doing whatever you want. But Carl Jung saw it differently. He believed real freedom only begins the moment you stop lying to yourself. You are not free if you're controlled by your wounds, by your fears, by the parts of you you've never fully faced. Jung wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." That means your unexamined beliefs, your emotional triggers, your patterns in love, work, and identity, they aren't random. They're scripts, unconscious stories running in the background. And until you become aware of them, they own you. You think you're choosing, but you're repeating. You think you're reacting to the present, but you're echoing the past. This is what Jung called the shadow, the parts of yourself you avoid, deny, or project onto others. And here's the truth. You can't be truly free until you stop outsourcing your power to people, to patterns, to stories you inherited but never questioned. Freedom begins with awareness, with radical self-honesty, not self-judgment, but the courage to see clearly. When you understand your shadow, you stop blaming the world. You stop chasing distractions. You stop calling your unconscious habits bad luck. You begin to act from intention, not reaction. From clarity, not fear. From truth, not image. That's when something shifts, not outside you, but within you. And that's the only kind of freedom that lasts. Carl Jung believed that the true prison is not built from walls, but from the parts of yourself you've buried, the feelings you suppress, the truths you avoid, the roles you perform just to be accepted. And you can't escape that prison by changing your environment. You change it by turning inward. Most people avoid this because it's painful. It's easier to stay busy, to chase goals, to perform strength while quietly breaking inside. But Jung taught that your shadow doesn't disappear just because you ignore it. It waits. It shows up in your relationships, in your defensiveness, in the way you sabotage peace and call it bad timing. You'll never be free until you know what's guiding your reactions. Why certain people trigger you. Why you always fall into the same emotional traps. Why nothing ever feels enough, even when you have it all. That's not fate. That's conditioning. And freedom requires breaking it. This doesn't mean rejecting yourself. It means reclaiming the parts you left behind. The anger you weren't allowed to express. The grief you never fully processed. The voice you silenced to survive. Jung didn't believe in perfection. He believed in integration, bringing the unconscious into the light, owning your complexity, facing your patterns not with shame, but with courage. Because only when you stop being afraid of yourself can you stop being afraid of the world. This is the work most people run from, but it's also the work that sets you free. Not immediately, not painlessly, but permanently. Real freedom doesn't feel like a high. It feels like coming home to yourself for the first time. The greatest illusion is thinking you are in control, when in reality, your unconscious is running the show. Carl Jung believed that most people never meet their true self. They meet only the mask they wear to survive, and they mistake that mask for identity. This is what he called the persona, the role you play, the agreeable one, the high achiever, the strong one who never breaks. But beneath the persona is the truth, what you fear, what you avoid, what you really want but haven't had the courage to ask for. You can't be free if you're still living for someone else's approval, or avoiding someone else's disappointment, or basing your life on the version of you that's easiest for others to digest. Jung's work was never about self-improvement. It was about self-confrontation, facing your shadow, owning your projections, asking, what part of me am I still hiding just to feel safe? Because that's the barrier, not the world, not your past, but the version of you that's afraid to live without a mask. The moment you start asking real questions, why do I overgive? Why do I stay silent? Why do I keep betraying my own boundaries? That's when you begin to wake up. You stop performing. You stop pretending. You stop asking life to get easier and start asking yourself to get honest. This honesty isn't always comfortable, but it's always clarifying. And clarity is what breaks the pattern. Jung said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. But once you come into consciousness, you begin to live from wholeness. And from that place, no one can take your freedom, because you're no longer giving it away. Freedom isn't found in escape, it's found in integration. And Carl Jung knew that most people aren't trapped by circumstance. They're trapped by avoidance. You can't heal what you won't name. You can't grow from what you won't feel. and you can't change what you keep calling just how I am. But the truth is, you are not your patterns. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are the one who can witness it all and choose differently. That's the power of becoming conscious. You begin to see the fork in the road where you used to only see reaction. You learn to pause where you used to explode, to speak when you used to stay silent, to walk away when you used to cling. This is the birth of true freedom. Not the kind that's given to you, but the kind you earn through awareness. Jung didn't promise comfort. He promised depth. He didn't offer surface solutions. He invited people to turn inward and reclaim their wholeness. Because once you face what you've been running from, the guilt, the grief, the buried anger, you stop needing the world to fix you. You stop looking outside for permission to exist. And that's when freedom begins. Not when the world changes, but when you do. If this message resonates, if you're walking that path inward, toward truth, depth, and real transformation, subscribe to The Wisdom Seeker. Here, we don't chase surface answers. We go deep into the thinkers, the patterns, and the shadow work that leads to something real. Because you were never meant to live asleep. You were meant to wake up. And once you do, you'll never go back.